Okay, real quick, don't click off the video. I know what you're probably thinking. Not another dude on YouTube talking about his opinion on The Last of Us 2. It's not what this is. YouTube has been flooded with that enough. No, I'm here to talk about something that I actually haven't really seen anyone else talk about that I think has been seriously overlooked. Now, if you have talked about this, or if you've seen someone else that has talked about this, I haven't seen it. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos, hi, I'm Shake. And what I want to talk about today is Ellie's journal and an artist named Shawn James. Before I get into all of this, if you haven't played The Last of Us 2 yet, my advice is that when you do play it, pay attention to Ellie's journal as you progress through the story. And if that is you, and you've been waiting to play The Last of Us 2 until this PS5 remastered came out, I suggest adding this to your Watch Later tab, go play the game, and then come back after, because this is going to have major spoilers for The Last of Us 2. Let's go back to 2016, where we got our first trailer for The Last of Us 2, which featured Ellie singing a song called Through the Valley by Shawn James. It's a song about vengeance and what is to come after, a very fitting song for the theme of this game. Now, like many of you, I was immediately hooked by this song, and so I went and searched up who performed it, and much to my surprise, it was a modern artist, and not only was it a modern artist, but it was an original song. I'd assumed that it was an older song, or maybe even a cover of an older song, based on its lyrics and overall vibe. Needless to say, it didn't take me long to get into the rest of his music. And from then on, I started listening to Shawn James and Shawn James and the Shapeshifters. For those of you that like to drink beer in the woods and fight grizzlies, bear with me, this is where it all connects. June 19th, 2020. Two things premiered: The Last of Us 2 and a single by Shawn James called The Guardian, or alternatively known as Ellie's Song. This song was written by Shawn James and reflects the feelings that Ellie is struggling with throughout the story. And the artwork for this single was drawn by Carl Truella. The art drawn by Carl Truella, sorry if I butchered your name, is a moth with Shawn James' eye on its wings. Very similar to the moth that is tattooed on Ellie and is featured on the neck of her guitar and in a lot of the drawings in her journal. But most importantly, the lyrics to the song are found in Ellie's journal. Or more accurately, in the world of The Last of Us, she wrote the song, The Guardian. So why do I think that this song is so important? Because this song being written in her journal serves to counter the feeling that a lot of players had, which was that Ellie killed tons of people throughout the game, and when she finally gets to the person that she wants to kill the most, she chooses mercy, seemingly for no reason and out of nowhere. Now, you can still be upset about that, and I completely understand it, but I still feel that this shows that she just doesn't have a sudden change of heart, as she progressively portrays her thoughts and feeling that she's been wrestling with in silence this whole time in her journal, through writing, drawings, and even lyrics. Now, the problem with this is, as a player, if you never paid attention to Ellie's journal and never opened it up and never read it, none of this comes across. You will think that Ellie has only a one-track mind, and that is to kill the muscle mommy. You'd think that she's completely blinded by revenge, and the only thing that kind of impedes her is her feelings of guilt and responsibility for Dina. But her journal entries serve to show another side of the story, that she's at constant war inside her own head, and that her decision to show Abby mercy was a decision that ate at her until the very last moment. There are only two ways, it seems, that Ellie knows how to convey her emotions: through violence and through music. Music is such a large part of The Last of Us 2, which is why it's a shame that they didn't implement this song more. I remember when I was playing the game for the first time and flipping through the journal, and the moment that I realized that, oh, the lyrics of Shawn James' The Guardian are in Ellie's journal. And at that moment, I was convinced that his song, or Ellie's song, would play when the credits rolled. And I was severely disappointed to find that the song is not played in the credits. Not during the game, and not by anybody. The song isn't even on the official soundtrack for The Last of Us 2. What happened here? This song could have been an amazing storytelling device to either show her struggle with balancing revenge or mercy, or to play during the credits to drive home the impact of her struggle. Which, no offense to Gustavo Santaolalla, Gustavo Santaolalla, yeah, and Mac Quayle. I'm so sorry for butchering those names, but I really wanted to hear The Guardian at the end. Or, alternatively, let me get on my fan fiction here. Alternatively, they could have had Ellie sing it at some point while she was traveling with Dina, and use that to lead into some exposition that reveals that Ellie is not just a bundle of rage and is actually wrestling with a lot of emotions here. Or even better yet, instead of Ellie writing the song, Joel could have written and performed it for her. It would make sense thematically for him to write it, as a man who's done a lot of morally questionable things to protect the ones he loves. And even better than that, they could have made a point that Joel was still writing the lyrics to the song, and he never got to finish it before he died. And Ellie has this song burned into her memory. So while Ellie is out seeking revenge, she'd have these moments of reflection where she would try to finish the lyrics that Joel was writing, but everything that she would write would be at odds with what Joel wrote. All the while, these are still the real lyrics, right? So for example, Joel could have written, "So I've become the bringer of death, a lover of life, the one who guards from the dark of the night," reflecting his past decisions and an acceptance of what and who he is. Whereas Ellie could have written the lyrics that follow that. "I'll be the hammer of war. Justice and mercy don't live side by side. So in retribution I abide. I'll tip the scales to justice's end. But can it make amends?" Countering Joel's reflective and more pensive perception of his actions with her burning desire for revenge. Regardless of whether she feels justified or not, all she can do is focus on how to get Abby, knowing somewhere in the back of her mind that this might not change anything. In fact, might make things worse. It won't bring him back, and it won't make up for the time they lost together. Music is arguably one of the biggest themes of The Last of Us 2. They make this apparent with the opening scene, showing right off the bat that Joel and Ellie are in a very strained relationship, but music is the catalyst that is used to break down that barrier and mend their relationship. And writing this song could have been his way of teaching, but more importantly connecting with Ellie, to not follow the same path as him, knowing that she has a tendency towards violence that he had a hand in creating. So Joel writes this, knowing that one day she might be presented with a similar situation, and he wants her to make the merciful choice, because he's at peace with his, and just wants the best for her, even if his choices would eventually catch up to him. But instead, he sang a Pearl Jam song, which once again, no offense to Pearl Jam in any way. Future Days is a beautiful song that does fit the theme and the feelings that Joel has for Ellie. It fits it great, but I just can't help but feel that The Guardian would have fit more thematically. I mean, come on, the song is called The Guardian, which Joel has very much been Ellie's guardian in pretty much every sense of the word. Point being, the image of Joel singing this song that he wrote as a lesson to her would have to stick with her, knowing what he wants for her and that she is actively choosing to go against it. Whether right or wrong, she would carry that with her. And she does. At the end of the day, she loses all of her outlets besides vengeance. She comes back to an empty house that was once full of people that she loved to pick up a guitar that she can no longer play. Both lost due to her want for revenge. Who knows? Maybe they'll do something to change it in the PS5 version and include it somewhere either in the credits or in one of the secret new missions that they got going on, right? But I really doubt it. Mainly because I haven't really seen anyone complain about this, but who knows? Most importantly, check out The Guardian by Shawn James, and actually just check out his music in general. I got an opportunity to see him in Virginia, and I also got to talk to him a couple times before and after the show, and he's a genuinely great guy, super down to earth, and phenomenal live. Super deserving of all the attention he's received and more. Anyway, give me your thoughts on what I just rambled about. Does it make sense? Do you feel it would have helped the story out at all, or do you think it would just turn it into a musical? Or do you think that none of it mattered because the moment that Joel got turned into a piñata, you turned off the game? Let me know. I have no real qualifications to be standing here spouting off opinions. Yet, here we are. If you sat through the whole video and you enjoyed yourself, feel free to give it a like, comment, a subscribe, and ring the bell for future uploads, where I talk about more random stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I can't wait to see the actress they get to play Abby just get all hopped up on HGH and anabolics and just watch her absolutely dwarf Pedro Pascal and that little Mormont girl. It's going to be the mountain all over again. Now, let's be real. Naughty Dog's not going to put themselves through that again. If anything, he might get crippled.